wonder what surprise Will's got for us this week.
Yeah.
Hey!
Yay!
There we go.
Oh, it's got a flash. Is that a flashing light on there? Oh no, it's just
Sugar-free mints, sugar-free mints. Well, welcome back, everybody out there. Great to see you.
Check
Now,
out the
I'm the
bins.
odd one out.
Sorry.
Well, look at this. I'm the odd one out with you lot.
Hello, caller.
Well, Apple earphones are so 2010.
Everybody, you can see we've got the lovely Mr. Will Murphy, we've got the lovely Carl Horton, and I am absolutely thrilled to say we got the fantastic Neil Simkin rejoining us. I'm glad we didn't put you off, Neil.
Not at all. Not at all.
Fantastic, boys. How are you all?
All good, thank you.
Good.
I'm absolutely amazed that these guys got bins. I feel like, you know,
I had bin envy over many weeks. I thought, do you know what? I've just got to join it. And actually, they're not even mine. They're Jack's, which is sits on his computer.
Are going to stop like doing that with the aeroplanes.
And you're ready to take off. Have a very pleasant day. Enjoy your flight.
Another thing from lockdown we never knew was going to be a thing.
Absolutely. Right, boys, let's have a little bit of a debrief on what the first week of February has brought to you all. So, Will Murphy, with your new bins, tell us all about your
my
week.
new borrowed bins from a 10-year-old. Well, I guess I'm considerably poorer after paying the HMRC, but there you go, we'll gloss over that. So, apart from that, it's been pretty busy. I'm just glad it's Friday, one of those weeks, just felt pretty hectic. Lots of driving, working, everything else, but Saturday is start of the Six Nations, so I am happy. I've got some.
I can see an extra big smile on your face, Will. Actually,
I've got some international rugby to watch. Nothing else to do for the weekend, so that is me sorted.
Yay! Phone off.
Everything off. Beers,
off.
telly. In fact, a few of us, I think we've got a kind of Zoom kind of get together because we've missed that sort of having the boys together in a pub watching some rugby. So we're going to, like everything else, do it virtually.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not? That sounds good. What about you, Mr. Carl Horton?
Well,
how's your
we
week been?
Talking just before we got together, weren't we? Interesting. Yeah. I know I used to travel to Wales with a bit of trepidation because they were
lovely.
They were the capital. Not because of the people, but because of the COVID. And fear of getting stopped by the police. Exactly. And then on Wednesday, on my way home, suddenly find out that I live in Variant Central with the South African strain. Kicking in. It's like, what? And it's two people that have never travelled. Apparently, as so there was a mass testing. So traffic apparently was at a standstill just down the road from us. I found out that there is a South Northfield, which I didn't know existed, on the national news. If you're in from South, and I thought, well, am I in
South Northfield?
Yeah,
Royal Borough of South Northfield.
Royal Borough, the Northfield Spa. Yeah,
excellent, lovely.
And it's divided.
If you don't know where it is, then you'd really
just believe us.
Quiet.
It's the other side of the Shell Garage, apparently. I guess the Bristol Road Divide, and of course the virus can't get across that dual carriageway, so we're all safe on this side.
Forget the North-South divide. It's the Bristol Road Divide is the big issue in this country.
So that was interesting. I caught up with a really good. He was my mentor. He was my VT trainer, and then my boss for many years, Giles Perrier. And we caught up with a phone call. It was great to talk to him and see. He's a granddad now, so congratulations, Andy, who's his son, and Danuta. Congratulations, and a big shout out to Giles. He was a big influence in my formative years as a dentist.
Professor?
He is a professor emeritus. I can't even say it. I haven't even been drinking. but such a lovely chap, such a font of knowledge as well. So it was good to have a chat with him, albeit virtually. So I look forward to catching up with him properly as soon as I can. And just lots of kind of little Zoom calls, sorting out some upcoming courses. Did a little webinar on research papers, so that was good fun. We're developing that, and then you can't do anything else, can you? Really, that's it.
Any big cases this week, Carl Horton?
Nah.
Might have been.
Yeah, a big case today. So a big case, yeah.
Very nervous patient, but a very, very big smile on the way out. So,
yay!
Yeah, he did well. Full arch immediate loaded case. Yeah, and very, very so nervous that he had neglected his dentition to the point where there were just little carious stubs, unrestorable. And he walked out with a big smile on his face. Did really well. Great shout out to all the team and everybody that just made it a very smooth process.
Who was your lab technician that you want to give credit
to? Phil. It was Garen and Phil. So Dental Excellence that were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Tweak things as we went through it, and just turnaround was superb. So these things sometimes they can be a whole day. But these guys, the techniques they use, they can just turn it around in less than an hour sometimes. It just some of the tweaks today took a little bit longer, but yeah.
Phil's just so calm, though, isn't he? And the work. I'm not saying that people sort of run around headless behind the scenes, but you guys know what I mean. And Phil just delivers this most beautiful bridge, and it's just we're going. That is absolutely amazing. He goes, "Oh yeah, thanks." Brilliant.
Yeah,
it was good. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I take my hat off to those guys. Absolutely stunning.
Very much so. What about you then, Mr. Simkin? How's your week been?
A week like any other, really. I was reassured to hear it was Friday. I've kind of lost track of what day, what month, whatever it is at the moment. They're all kind of blending into one. But no, we're back to full speed and have been for quite a while now. I mean, I've got the advantage in Newtown of having extra surgery space, so we can flip between the two. So from July, really, we've been back up to full pace, which is starting to feel a bit strange now. But you know what? We've cleared backlogs. We're back to normal now. The diary is looking normal, which is in a way slightly comforting, I suppose. It's not just constantly dealing with toothaches and backlog from months and months ago. So it's good.
What sort of practice is it now?
It's MyDentist Advanced Oral Health Centre, but just general practice really. We have Carl visiting every couple of weeks. So yeah, I do most things. I do a lot of short-term orthodontics. We do accept referrals for endo and minor oral surgery as well. So yeah, just the general practice, but with a bit of a tweak here and there. We do seem to have quite a good reputation amongst those of us who work there that people will pass stuff on to us quite a lot.
And is it NHS mixed?
Predominantly private. We've got a small NHS contract as a bit of a throwback to the old days, but the NHS in Wales is undergoing an interesting reform at the moment, which some people seem to be keen to embrace, but there's certain aspects of it that will need a bit of ironing out. All of a sudden, UDAs don't seem quite so bad at the moment to me, but there we go. But
well, that's encouraging for everybody.
But my contract's small, so it's to be honest, pretty much a negligible part of the practice portfolio. So we'll just sort of toe the line and let it tick over, to be honest. But no, private and have been for many years, so all good. But yeah, short-term orthodontics is taken over. I think we've had about 13 patients in this week. Inquiring. It seems to be quite a big area post-lockdown. People staring at themselves on Zoom all day and seeing what their teeth look like and thinking, you know what, I've been on furlough for 6 months, nowhere to go, nothing to spend. Let's go and spend it on my teeth. So it's been quite a productive few weeks, to be honest.
Is that something you push, or have you advertised? Or
no. We've been doing.
Found their way in.
Yeah, we have got a social media presence nowadays, which has trickled a few through. But I've been doing aligners for 15 years. So we've got quite a good base already, and just hundreds and hundreds of cases having been done previously, the word gets out there and get there. So we don't push it because, like I say, we are a general practice, so we have all the other stuff to do as well. But we could quite conceivably, I think, with a bit of a push, become almost exclusively short-term orthodontics, given the amount of time it takes up at the moment. But I'll keep my hand in a few other bits as well.
To be fair, Neil, when you were saying that obviously last July you guys were back, if you were ever properly away, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
You were very quick off the mark, really, as in MyDentist, I would say. You know, they really were ahead of the game of getting their clinicians back in and supporting their teams, weren't they?
They have been very good. I mean, corporate is as corporate does. I mean, some people like it, some people don't. But you know what? I think having friends and colleagues who work independently, it's hard. I've seen them still struggle now with all the extra levels of thing. MyDentist really did all they could as quickly as they could to get us back to work. I mean, obviously it was in their benefit to have us working, but they've been really, really efficient at it, in my opinion. I can't really fault them on this. They've got purifiers into every practice in the country, every surgery in the country as quickly as possible. They've got the fallow times under control. It's hard to fault them on the sort of logistics of getting everyone back and going again. I say we were able to run out of 2, if not 3 surgeries, certainly in the early days of coming back, and there was no issue. And suppliers, masks, gloves, it hasn't been an issue at all, really. So no, it's say it as you find them, but they've done. I think they've done pretty well on this as well, and especially dealing with 4 different scenarios with England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland all having different plans in place. But as you said, Kate, thankfully in Wales, the CDOs had a modicum of sense and let us stay open all the way through to deal with emergencies. So the backlog wasn't quite as bad for us as it was for guys in England who had to literally close the doors.
Yeah, we didn't worry too much about that at the time, did we? Or perhaps we might have ranted just a little bit. I can't remember.
Just a little bit. Yeah,
it's all started, isn't it?
Yeah,
it became the weekly rant rather than the weekly bite-sized webinar.
Yeah, we'd be wiping the froth off the screen, you know, when we were just shouting at our laptops, you know.
Yeah, you're very humble there, Neil. I think that was. I mean, you know, the practice. And again, MyDentist did seem to get their and he said something else for a second. that stuff together quite quickly. And I thought there was, you know, I don't know whether you want to mention it, but there's another role that you've kind of taken on board. I thought we were chatting about.
Yeah. So the one thing I'm liking about the MyDentist corporate aspect. I mean, I've been a corporate dentist for over 20 years now, so I've seen lots of it from different angles. Some have been good, some have not been good. But MyDentist, even especially now with everything going on with the sale by Carlisle Group, I mean, I can say that's not secret news. They've been trying to sell or get reinvestment, I think is the posh word of putting it, from other sources for a good couple of years. So there's lots going on behind the scene, but they're keeping things going, keeping momentum. And as a result of that, one thing that corporates can be very, I'm trying to think of one thing they often do is they'll push ideas. The business side of the corporate will say, this is the next big thing. You're all going to be doing this, all going to be doing this, all going to be doing this. And it just filters through and the clinicians are going, no, it's not happening. And then they've invested huge amounts of money and time and in marketing, and it just doesn't work. So what they have done is they've taken on a clinical panel. So they've got the clinical directors, which is great, but they tend to, as their job role increases, they drift away from face-to-face practice and kind of forget what it's like at the coalface a little bit. So they've taken on myself and 2 or 3 others. So not a huge number of us, but a few of us across the entire estate as estate-wide clinical support managers to focus on these products that come in. So they'll come to us, they're saying, we've been approached by this company, this is their product, what do you think? Have a trial, go on the course, do a little bit of a pilot for us, and then they are listening to our feedback and reacting to it already. And I've only been doing the job since the start of January, but it feels like the business and the clinical side are starting to merge together, which is quite rare for a corporate in my experience. So it's so far so good, enjoyable.
Well done, Neil. Well done.
Yeah, well done, mate.
You've got a good candidate in you. I've got to be honest.
You. Thank you very much.
What sort of stuff do they push, or what ideas?
Viagra.
Everyone has to dress as cartoon characters. Or sell other Pfizer products.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, basically, loads of companies come up with new ideas. They're very much in bed with Straumann. Again, that's not a big secret. MyDentist and Straumann are working very, very closely together. Straumann will take other companies from across the world under the same umbrella, and they're trying products in the UK. One of the ones that I'm piloting at the moment is a product called Genova, which basically is a removable fixed appliance. So it's an aligner with a wire attached to it. So they section the aligner, and it's got a wire so the teeth can move in separate directions, and it's supposed to speed things up. So Straumann are trialing that product via ourselves in the UK, and there's a couple of other MyDentist practices involved, as well as a couple of others just independently with Straumann. So they're pushing that idea. They haven't sort of gone all in saying, right, we're doing aligners, we're going to push this in, Straumann wants this in it, everyone's going to do this product. So they're actually using us to trial things like that. And there's other, everyone's got an idea. There's all sorts of things around composite veneers and different products that offer that. And they're looking to see if that fits within the brand and all sorts of that. So loads of companies approach MyDentist on a monthly basis with their next big idea. And MyDentist in the past have invested big in these, and some have really, really flopped, but taken a massive investment and time from MyDentist. So they've realised now that the business, as we all know, spreadsheets and extrapolation of numbers is all well and easy when you'd actually have to put it into reality. So they've actually taken on a few of us to see how it works in reality, and then they are starting to listen to the feedback. So it's a very encouraging sign, and it feels good to be a part of. It's one of the things about corporates has always been a frustration: is you can do this, you can't do this, you have to do that. Whereas now they are actually trialing these products out in the field and listening to the feedback, more importantly, which is great.
Yeah, what's the reason why they give feedback, isn't it? That's great.
Sounds good, mate.
Good news.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. It's funny you should say about just going back saying there's no problems with getting PPE and different things, because only today, the practice we were speaking to today, they're struggling still, aren't they?
Yeah.
We were saying to them what they said to us. Yeah,
there's quite a few that have mentioned that they're struggling to get certain things, not just PPE, but things like irrigation lines, certain components, implant components, little bits, things like that. But we don't want to go down that road, otherwise we're going to go down the old Brexit route. Will's going to explode his bin.
Brexit, COVID, it's a perfect storm.
Yeah, absolutely. But there you go. We got our sovereignty back, didn't we? Hey.
Leading the way in filling in paperwork at the border.
Yes, wave your flags, everybody.
Yes.
There you go. That's the side of the fence.
But we've already seen. But we've already seen it, though, haven't we? In components being delayed coming over, and even the tiniest little bit that would just arrive in a heartbeat, and how it's different now is very odd. Very odd, especially when it's coming from a non-EU country to a non-EU country. Where, but anyway,
there's a reason that Bezos has stepped down from CEO of Amazon. He's just had enough. Brexit put him in.
All the form filling.
Yeah, I've had enough of that.
I can't be bothered with it.
It was going so well.
Yeah.
Forget your billions.
Yeah, I think
150 billion. I'm out.
Yeah. Jack, you can deal with that.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh well, should be all right. Should be. Right.
So in the news, obviously this week, yet again, we hear more about the vaccines. So some people are certainly favouring one vaccine, I think it's fair to say. Which
So
are
is it
you
like
lots
Oxford?
of
Like Oxford, yeah.
Careful.
Oxford, yeah.
Careful. I think Neil's got a little bit of Pfizer in him. And
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Viagra.
Yeah, clarify quickly, please.
Yeah. It was when you said in bed, when you mentioned in bed, then you said straight. I thought, whoa, okay.
Yeah, all these joining the dots, huh?
Yeah. I keep looking at that Newman because they keep talking about stuff, don't they? It's certainly new man. It took me a while to figure out it meant new man. And then when they do, they're selling. Yeah, they're selling the Regain. Which apparently can.
I think that ship has sailed, mate. Sorry.
Well, for both of that drugs, yeah. And and the discreet comes in. I wonder what a discreet package looks like. It's just to actually find out what the package looks like makes me tempted to put the order in. So I want to,
Of course it does.
So when it does arrive, even I'm going, well, what's this? I don't remember ordering anything like it. And then opening it up in front of the whole family, and then kind of going, Seb. Yeah, let me explain.
Good luck with that.
If somebody says this is for you, but it's in a very discreet package, you'll be like, do you know what? I'll open it later.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they'll just put love honey on it or something like that. Be easily disguised.
Surely it's got to be the obvious, like the brown paper bag kind of thing.
Isn't that
go traditional?
Isn't that what TRICARE deliver their implant components?
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
I noticed in the news that they're trialing mix and match vaccines, aren't they? Which clearly means that
they're running out of some
supplies. Yeah, and they need some great bit of science that might just be fudged to tell everybody that it's fine to mix and match them.
I heard on the news yesterday they were saying, well, with Ebola we mix and match. We just basically stick anything in, whatever we got lying around.
That's all right.
Stick that in. Works with Ebola.
What's the worst that can happen?
We'll find out in about 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I had Pfizer back in December, and I'm due. Well, I haven't had my letter for my second dose yet, but I'd happily experiment with a shot of the Oxford.
Has anybody tried like an antibody test after the vaccine just to see? No.
I'm positive, but they don't know what the titer level is for antibodies. So that came back from the COVID study, and that I'm still positive for antibodies.
Gosh, that's quite a while late. That's 8 months or so later now.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So they're still the little guys are still in my. Well, it could be good. I thought about it several ways because obviously, I think about these things for a very long time. So I thought, okay, well, it either means one, I'm doing all right and my immune system's kicking in, or two, I'm really bad at how I deal with my. Don't take this seriously, by the way, anybody's listening. But my PPE, and I seem to bump into a lot of patients that have COVID, but I generate the antibodies.
You've actually had it about 4 times.
Yeah, so I'm just keeping the antibody levels really high because I'm so bad at my cross infection and PPE.
Can't think why your mask isn't fitting.
Yeah.
Followed all the instructions.
It's a mystery.
Yeah, it's just some leakage maybe somewhere. Yeah.
Unless you've got a very quick growing beard and you're clean shaven every morning.
I had both of those, thanks.
Or it's a stick-on beard that you only put on a Friday. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Well, when you start losing your hair, Carl, at least you can just do that and go.
Yeah.
I'll just flip the image.
Absolutely.
Well,
Well, we've. Say it again.
I said, cheers all. I feel so welcome.
But no, Will, in answer to your question, no. Go on, Neil.
No, that's all right, carry on. It was just banter.
No, I'll just say to Will, no, I haven't had an antibodies test. I've thought about it, just out of interest.
I've seen mixed reports as to how effective the results are.
Which ones? The antibody results or the vaccine, or both?
Oh, from people who've had the vaccine and then gone for an antibody test, and
Yeah.
Some people seem to have it, some people don't. So I'm not quite sure we truly have the full details of how the vaccines work and what sort of response it's supposed to generate, really. But
well, we had some little testers, you know, the ones where you just prick your finger and drip a bit of blood on it. And is it specific to COVID, or does it just tell you you've got certain immunoglobulins floating around? That's the bit I didn't understand about it. Carl, you're clever and a scientist. You'll know.
Specific to COVID. So it's how
do they make things like that?
How do they make things like that? Right. So they figure out what spike it is that they're going to sort of test for. So there's more than one, if you like, and then they design how can I put it? They design an immunoassay test, thing that will pick up on the proteins that are in that, specific proteins that are in that, and they can do it several ways. So one's like an agglutination test, and it all kind of agglutinates. The other one sort of hits a marker. So if the markers are in there, it'll either change color or it'll a bit like a pregnancy test, like similar to that, but a bit more specific.
Okay.
So it's looking for a certain protein that will then convert it.
Well, I wasn't pregnant last time I did it.
I know.
That was the.
But you can. The thing is the accuracy of that is debatable, because there are certain proteins that can also kick it off that can be present. So it's fairly specific, but not that accurate, and that's where the issues have been in what's been going on in some of the tests, where they're testing to see whether it's not necessarily an antibody test, but they're testing to see whether you're COVID positive or not. The lateral flow tests obviously are better, and the antibody tests, when they're taking your blood, are even more accurate. So the accuracy increases as you kind of step up. But again, the expense increases and the difficulty in testing increases. But as that goes along, it'll get easier and cheaper. But then it'll be pointless, because we'll all be vaccinated.
We'll all be on holiday.
Yeah.
So the sale of pregnancy tests are going to go through the roof this weekend, because everyone's going to see if they've got COVID.
Well, we won't. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say a word about that.
I've done my bit for humanity.
I'm sure that there is a crossover between pregnancy tests and prostate cancer. I'm sure that I read that somewhere. That you if you're man, do you know what? I could be talking absolute crap, but I'm sure that I've read.
You haven't got sales shares in pregnancy tests, have you?
No, Dogecoin and GameStop I had, but not pregnancy tests. There we go.
Oh, those poor hedge funders! You put
that. Yeah, we'll know on Think of the hedge funders.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh well.
And Jeff Bezos. These poor guys.
What's going on?
I know.
Just out of curiosity, what's happened to Trump? I haven't heard much about him lately.
He's waiting his impeachment, I think.
Oh, is that going to happen? Is it?
I think so. I think it's happening next week, isn't it?
Is it? It's next week. So
Great.
I think it's on the card. Yeah, I think so. That'll be more entertainment. The whole world of politics is very quiet, isn't it? Really, at the moment.
Yeah.
Now the experiment's over. So going back to the old vaccine and everything else, what's if we were going to pluck a date or a month out of the air and say, when are we back to normal?
Well, we haven't. I mean, percentage-wise, we're not that high. Well, no, I say we're not that high. I think we are. Israel is first in the world, isn't it, for its percentage of population that have been vaccinated? I can't remember. Is it United Arab Emirates that's second?
Yeah, we're third. We're third.
Yeah, we're third. So we're third, but we still haven't vaccinated a huge amount of our population. But I think that was the last time I was listening, it was 80% of the over 80s. So if we and that's pretty fast. So if we get the 20% done, then stuff everybody else. We're fine. They're all right. Hello, Rick. So back up again. If you are listening again, I don't mean it. I am just joking.
Before the professionally outraged start.
So I prediction-wise, I think probably we're going to see schools open up March.
Wait till March.
Yeah.
See you, boys.
And then I think some normality is going to probably be end of summer, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I test out those vaccine calculators that you see, and when are you most likely to get your vaccine? Encouragingly, in Wales, in both cases, I put myself in as a fit 25-year-old, and I never was, so it's a bit of an interesting. But as a fit 25-year-old with no
fit 25-year-old female, please,
but with no health risk whatsoever. So right at the bottom of the pile. And in Wales, it says that I will have had my first vaccine by the end of April. In the Welsh calculator. However, in the English calculator, it does suggest September for the first vaccine. For the first vaccine.
The first vaccine, September. I don't remember.
Blimey.
So really, for the whole bulk of the population to be, we are talking the end of this year, aren't we? 2022 is where we're going to be up and running again. But I think certain parts of the country with the small populations, you know what, summer stands a chance.
Yeah. I'll have a PlayStation 5 by then. You know, what's going on?
So how's homeschooling going?
Well,
sorry.
Well, we haven't got long enough.
Can we talk about Brexit?
Can I mute his mic?
You're probably best to mute mine.
Do you know, go on.
It's going. No, it's going. Let's just say that.
I think some schools haven't discovered this thing, and it is difficult. It is really, really difficult for the schools to figure out how to use a mobile phone and type in the word ZOOM and have that open whilst they're schooling the 4 or 5, 6 maybe children that are there that are critical care workers. And just have the phone hovering in the background because you've got GDPR issues, and it's the same in dentistry, isn't it? So I do understand. Again, is there anybody I haven't offended? I do get the idea that might be so difficult to actually deliver the lesson that you've already going to deliver over Zoom to the children that may have been in your class, and you know that must be very, very hard to do. So it's much easier to cut and paste a PDF and then send that either by email or actually don't even bother doing that. Upload it to a site where the parents have to download it for their children then to go through it. And I mean, I've got to be honest. Some of those questions, some of the English things, I have to kind of pretend that I know it and then kind of get me phone out and Google what's conjunctive. I haven't got a clue what that means, and some of the mathematical equations, I'm like, no, you know.
What's the way they do maths now? I mean, it used to just be adding 2 numbers together, and now it's you break it down into tens and individuals, and then work out what bits are missing, and no, just add it up.
So great, mate.
Yeah, it's really good. And the thing is, you don't want to get your kids into bad habits, and I'm sure people out there are going to relate to this, because how I would work out the answer is so different to how my kids have been taught, and you're so worried to teach them your habits because they'll be equally confused. Do you know what I mean?
Not worried. My ways are much better. I'm having no problem with that.
I make Seb wear a school uniform, so when he's at home, so he has to get it, and then he has to
get in the zone.
Yeah, he has to be dressed at home at 8:30, school uniform. And if his top button isn't done up and his tie's a little bit sloppy, gets the cane.
Good old school, proper old school.
Detention.
That's, he's had detention every day this week.
Yeah.
Detention means he's got to go to school for the week.
You pretend to him that he goes to Eton, and then you give him a gown and a mortarboard, and make him wear that.
He can go to a different school every week.
School, young man.
Yeah.
Next week you're at Grange Hill.
Show some gratitude, yeah.
Grange Hill. I like the Grange Hill.
You're going to be Tucker Jenkins.
Love Grange Hill.
Yeah.
School of Hard Knocks.
Giving my age away.
Absolutely brilliant.
Oh, blimey. Well, gentlemen, we have reached that magical time. We really have.
There we go. Put the wheels of dentistry to right, I think, somewhere.
We have. And schooling and the sales of pregnancy tests have gone up.
We cover everything.
New man or whatever. This is fantastic. Well, all of you, thank you, Neil. A massive thank
Absolute
you.
pleasure. Anytime.
Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure to have you back. Mr. Cole-Horton, Mr. Will Murphy, thank you once again. You. Great to see you all, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend.
Yeah, cheers all. Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.